Member for Saanich Gulf Islands.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm rising today to pursue a question I asked on question period. It was back in, oh my goodness, Madam Speaker, it was a while ago. I'm going to take off my new glasses is the problem. Yes, it was a question that I asked back in February 27th. It was right after the British Columbia government came out with its budget. And I have to say, I think every British Columbia member of Parliament was shocked. The BC NDP government cancelled a very important program, the Community Housing Fund. And the reason I raise this in the context of our federal parliament is obviously the Canadian government is certainly making many commitments to build many Canadian homes, that housing starts are up. It's discussed, of course, in the spring economic statement. But my concern was this, Madam Speaker, and it wasn't properly addressed in question period. Yes, the federal government is providing funding to the BC government, but we have a real opportunity here that I hope the federal Minister of Housing will seize. We have, and the last statistic I can find, Madam Speaker, was that since I asked the question after the BC Community Housing Fund was cancelled, the commitment from the federal government out of the funds that were approved through Bill C-15, the Budget Implementation Act committed $15 billion to the Build Canada Homes Agency. Of that, $170 million is the latest statistic I can find of what is committed from the federal government to the BC government. But to be clear, that's the total, that's all kinds of housing, market housing, social housing, co-op housing, what you name it. Madam Speaker, the opportunity here for the federal government is huge. There are tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars that municipalities, local communities, nonprofit associations have already spent in being ready to build great housing. They've bought the land. They've hired the architects. They've cleared the studies. They've done the zoning. They're ready to roll. And suddenly, the BC government's decision to pull out of the funding has left just thousands of potential homes for British Columbians in peril. There are big question marks now over many, many projects. So my plea to the government, and pursuing this question tonight in adjournment proceedings, is this. Set some clear requirements, such as you've got the land, you're ready to roll, you've done your zoning, you've got your permits, the plans are ready. It's just a question of a top-up from the federal government, specifically designed for nonprofit housing in British Columbia to make sure that these wonderful projects that are, I mentioned before in my question when I asked it back in February, Galiano Island, Main Island, but also Squamish, I mean, the Prince George Council member, Corey Ramsey, who's the president of the Union of BC Municipalities, is saying the same thing. So many projects are going to fall through the cracks. We're ready to go. So we're looking for the federal government to commit to create a special, really designed for BC in this moment, funding program designed to capture those projects that are ready to roll, shovel-ready, and may fall through the cracks and never get built unless the Minister of Housing, himself a British Columbian, can step up and design a project that gets the money flowing to build these homes for British Columbians. Thank you, Madam Speaker.